That's the new music. I dig it. Got me in the mood. Welcome to the LowcoSports Lowdown. It's a Monday night double barrel action on the TV. Julio has left the yard to give the Seattle Mariners a 2-1 lead over the Toronto Blue Jays in Game 7. The Lions from Detroit leading Tampa Bay Bucks 14-9. West rooting hard for a Bucks loss, as is the rest of the NFC South.
Yes, indeed.
Everybody needs those guys to lose. So yeah, we got some double barrel action going. We got football highlights from Friday night, including the big one in the tank where the Hilton Head Seahawks, Wes's Seahawks, were victorious over May River. Basically, I mean, at least smoothing their path toward a region title. They've just got the bottom of the region standings left in their path, and we've got other news. You can see some of it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. We've got some of the volleyball brackets released. The volleyball playoffs will start Wednesday for the high school league. The 2A brackets are out, I know. The 1A brackets are mostly out. I think maybe the 1A and 2A are maybe all the way out. 3A was missing a couple of seeds. When I looked earlier, 4A is still in flux because they have to wait for some results tonight, sort out the RPI situation, and all
That's
of that.
what takes it so long for 4A is because you have to have all the games finished, and then you gotta
you can't just go, well, no matter what happens tonight, we know they're going to finish third and they're going to finish, so you can't do that.
Right.
There's got to be more to it than
you
that.
kind of do what's going to happen in terms of who you might play.
So part of the deal, but we should have them in the morning, I think.
Like if you're third, you could be 7 through 9. So there's a chance you may have to go on the road, chance you host. So it's
a lot up in the air, but it's to be expected this time of the year, and it's part of the territory of making it to the playoffs. If you make it to the second round in volleyball, you got to turn around and play 2 days later, so you got to figure some things out on the fly there.
The schedule makes it so there's only the first round is on that week, and then and if I remember correctly.
Is that right this year?
Yeah. So the first round of the volley for 4A, I believe it's the same for 2A as well.
I think it's
the
on
first
Wednesday.
round is on Wednesday, and then the next week they won't have to play again until I believe Monday.
Okay.
Yes. So
that eases things a bit as far as the logistics go. So good stuff. But more importantly, we had a lower state golf qualifier played right here at Rose Hill today, and good showing from the Loco squads. We did not keep the title in the Loco, unfortunately. South Aiken out dueling Hilton Head and May River. Listen to how close the top 3 were. South Aiken comes in at 332, Hilton Head at 333, May River at 334.
Wow.
The narrowest of margins. The top 3 separated by 2 shots.
That is incredible.
And of course, they'll run it back next week, I believe.
Right. The one that matters is the one that's coming up. This is just qualification purposes, but I feel like there's a lot of mind games that play even in golf. Like you kind of know the capability of these teams. You're going to see them again. So, I mean, it's not like you prepare for matchups like in a team sport, but in the sense that you're ready to go. You just got to make sure to bring your best game because that
you're familiar with the opponent. Yeah.
There are more. I think it's safe to say there are certain positions in certain sports that can really play tricks with your mind. Golf in an entirety can play tricks with your mind, and I'm speaking like 95% of the world that is a hack, and I haven't played in months, but that game can really do some stuff to you. That's why they call it the beautiful game. It's a human walking contradiction.
I thought that was soccer.
That's soccer.
Was the
that could be too.
I thought golf was a good walk spoiled. I forget who it was who called it.
That sounds right. It's a contradiction.
That's soccer.
The game of golf.
Yeah, that's the beautiful game. No disrespect to football. But it was just as tight in the individual scoring. The individual standings just as tight. I don't know if they did a scorecard playoff, so they're listed as 1, 2, 3, but they all have the same score. The top 3: Catherine Gavin from Hilton Head Harper Hedden from Hilton Head and Haley Zhao from May River all shot 77 to tie for the best score of the day. Again, they're listed in that order. I don't know if there
Impressive.
was a
Yeah,
scorecard playoff,
I'm
but
not like
solid
they
rounds.
may have not, because it's obviously states they would, but maybe they
Right.
would be just
Yeah,
sharing the
that's what I'm
medalist
saying
honor.
is I don't
Yeah,
know. And
yeah,
the formatting looks like it could have been, it's just auto formatted perhaps, and they didn't
yeah.
put in the ties. But anyway, uh, Beaufort also finished sixth and Bluffton seventh, so I suspect that will be good enough to get them to the state tournament as well. Ava Cunningham from May River finished seventh overall with an 80. She was only 3 shots off the leaders. And Rebecca Wan from Bluffton with an 81 cracked the top 10 at tie for eighth, number 9. So great showing. And the Seahawks left a little on the table. Brooke Nicholas shot 87, and
Yeah.
she's definitely capable of better. So, yeah, going to be interesting. I think both May River and Hilton Head have a very legitimate shot of winning the state championship next week. And
I
I
don't remember
think
a couple. It's been a couple of years since
that,
both teams were at like this high
here's
level,
the
because May
scores, by
River's
the
been
way.
there a while, and they've been really the dominant team in terms of golf in the Loco these last few years. But Hilton Head's kind of gotten back to form now, and it's been good to see what has happened over there for the Seahawks, and Coach Cran has gotten them playing some good golf. And they get another home state tournament. It's at Hilton Head Lakes coming up next week,
Oh, is it
which
Hilton and
is
Lakes?
we talked
Awesome.
about that course. Really, it's a really
Nice
nice
course.
for a high school's championship course. It's not overly difficult, but there are some challenging sections, and it's a really well maintained course that will make you hit the good shots, but it's not overly difficult. I think it's a good
Yeah, I agree.
championship caliber course for
It's
high
got
school.
some testing holes, it's got
Those
some holes where some risk reward holes where you can go for it if you're a more, confident player, where the less confident players can lay up and play it around the lake. It is a good little track. The routing's funky, because of it being accommodating all the future homes. So the
Yeah,
routing feels a little funky in places, although I haven't been around it in a while. So I'm sure there are a lot more homes than there used to be. Because at one time it was weird because you'd go like these long expanses between holes and there was nothing there because the houses hadn't been built yet. But no, it's a nice little course. They've done a great job of upgrading everything out there over the years, and any place that's willing to accommodate something like this, kudos to you, because it is a
yeah,
lot of work for their staff and their
yeah.
people, but they're doing it to try to further, the future of the game and give back to these kids who are coming through the sport. So
You
love to see it.
you said it, JJ, and I have to give big props to Rose Hill.
Yeah,
Uh, Obviously,
they always step up.
my mom and dad
yeah,
lived there, and that's where they moved. When they moved from Canton, Ohio, down here, they moved to Rose Hill. They actually, when that tournament was going on, and my dad said there's action on the back nine, my mom and dad were on the front nine playing this afternoon, and
That's funny.
uh, obviously a bunch of different groups, both from kind of the golf side and the management side, have tried to find, the best way to maintain that course and whatnot. But with the fact that big time golf is happening there, kudos to you, Rose Hill, and everybody else, of course, doing yeoman's work, making sure that our courses are kept up well for these golfers.
Heck yeah, good stuff. So we'll definitely have to try to get out next week and at least
yeah.
on
Monday and
Tuesday.
Tuesday, 2-day tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
One of you
think we'll have
guys, maybe.
some student folks out there as well.
Oh, that's
So,
outstanding.
Kitty, will
Yeah.
you please stop? This cat's driving me crazy under the table. All right, boys. So
Well,
that's
next
Never
the
a dull
golf.
Tuesday.
moment, right?
You're all caught up there.
Yeah,
Never. I've
yeah.
got some of the brackets pulled up for volleyball here. First, the show brought to you tonight by our all-star sponsors, Mickelson Law Firm, our official real estate closing attorney, presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage, and our original sponsor. They've been with us since the beginning, since 2017. He's back, and they'll help you with all your legal needs in downtown Bluffton. And then WHHI TV, Marcus's folks over there, Team WHHI, our partners in local sports coverage. We love teaming up with you guys, and you can check out Loco Lights
Likewise.
on tonight's WHHI news, and then be on the lookout for last night in the Loco every weekday, most every weekday. Some days we have to take the day off because we don't have much to go with as far as footage goes. So if you're getting B-roll footage at events out there, an exciting event, and you get some
definitely a pickup soon with playoff action going on.
Get us some stuff.
We got volleyball, of course, tennis as well. Yeah, girls tennis as well, getting going this week in terms of their playoffs. So we're starting to wind down the business part of fall sports, especially some of the Olympic sports. As we got lots of golf and tennis to look towards, and I think this volleyball tournament now. I think May Rivers, they're trending in the right direction by the way they've been playing. I thought Buford at one point was the better team, but it looks like the Sharks, like they were last year, are well primed. But it can be different. I think 4A is a pretty loaded group of high end teams this year. I think Ray Collegiate is pretty solid this year. There's a couple of other really good teams. By the way, let me pull up the RPI for volleyball.
Sounds good. While you're doing that, I've got the 3A bracket here. So you can see Battery Creek going to be a 4 seed. They'll go on the road to Region 4, number 2 seed. Don't know who that will be at the moment, but Creek having a little bit of a tough season. I wouldn't expect them to make a deep run. And then we got the 2A bracket is filled out. And we've got some representation there.
Ran through that region this year. They were dominant.
And they were absolutely dominant. They didn't drop a set all the way through. They'll open with Manning, and then they would have either Timberland or Andrew Jackson. I wouldn't anticipate any trouble there. Atlantic Collegiate, I suspect, will be a tough matchup out there in the third round, and they would have to go on the
that's
road
number 2 versus number 6 in RPI.
Now that's Academic Magnet. I think is pretty good too. So
they're pretty solid. But Atlantic Collegiate 21-5, they've been pretty solid throughout the year. That's going to be a tough test, but Bridges Prep can get past that. I mean, they could go in a deep run. Obviously, Philip Simmons is also a team to watch.
Right.
They're 33-5 this year and lead the way.
And they're down on the other half of the bracket. So if Bridges got through Atlantic Collegiate, they would most likely go to Philip Simmons next, unless somebody knocks them off along the way. So it's going to be a tough road. If they make it through that, they will be well prepared for whomever waits
they go up against
on the other side.
But, I think if they get past those two teams, they'll be in good shape. But certainly, it's going to be quite a challenge to clear those couple of hurdles. But team that's done it before the last 2 years ago, and these players, I expect a couple of them were big parts, or at least important parts of how this program has continued to grow and get to that state title game. Now, of course, they were 1A then. Now they're 2A, so a little bit tougher now, jumping up to 2A volleyball, but going to 4A, and the team you'd expect to be at the top and that's Pickens, the Blue Flame, who seems to always be there at the state championship match when any of our squads makes it there, whether it's Hilton or May River, and
or Bluffton back in the day.
Yes, and Bluffton. Don't forget about the Bobcats as well. But of course, Pickens has a lot of history with a bunch of our teams, and Hilton had beat him a couple years ago, but then May River, just a heartbreaker because they had like a significant lead in the third set, I believe, the third or the fourth. Late in that match, and they let slip away.
It looked like they were going to put it away.
1-1, and then they dropped that, and then they just lost momentum, and then Pickens just got on top of them in that final set, in the fourth set, to wrap it up. But Yeah, they're on top as expected. Gray Collegiate, a team who I mentioned, is on a terrific run this year, and a team that May River will probably have to face in the lower state. As of where they are now, May River is fifth in RPI, 23 and
There
9.
we go. Show the
So
people
they're
what you're looking at.
they're looking in pretty good shape. Although Bishop England, obviously the region champs, are a bit below them, but I think those two teams are very evenly matched. But Gray Collegiate,
Yeah.
if they land, so if May River is going to be that 4 through 6, I believe Gray Collegiate may have been second in that region as well. So that could be the 4-5
Really?
game, which would mean May River would have to go to Gray, and that would be quite a challenge in the second round if that's the bracket that we'll see turn up. Not official in terms of these region finishes, but if Gray does finish second, which I believe they could have. If I can pull up a lot of moving parts in these 4A brackets, with
which is why we don't have
RPI and the
4A
region
brackets
finish,
yet.
and there's a lot that plays into it. So, I think it's a good solution when you have unbalanced region numbers. Yeah, South Aiken and Gray Collegiate are both 13-1, and it may, let's see,
Gray
because
won
they both the same
tonight.
record. They lost. Yeah, so I think they must have
Gray
split.
beat Gilbert tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking at they lost to South Aiken.
Yeah, they split and they were
Yes,
both
they
5
split.
games.
Yep, so they're both 13-1. So I'm not
Upsets.
sure who gets the tiebreaker.
And South
in
Aiken
that.
won tonight. So yeah, who knows what the tiebreakers
Yeah.
come down to there.
So it could be
so they
it could be
will
one of
end
those
up
two
tied.
teams at the end of playing. Although if it's South Aiken that finishes second, then May River will probably be the 4 and would be able to host that second round game, which would be important.
Right, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, so all that factors in. Craziness.
Yeah.
So we'll find out hopefully by tomorrow morning about the 4A brackets, because I think they have to report them, tonight, and then we'll be good to go. Switching it over to the 1A bracket, and let me pull up the 1A RPI as well, because I had not looked at it, but Hardyville's up to number 8 in the RPI. Wow. So we'll be a 2 seed. We'll host Military Magnet, who's 30th in the RPI. That bodes well. I'm not putting the cart before the horse because we ain't been here before. We made the playoffs last year and had to go on the road to some powerhouse, Carver's Bay, I think, and they were a region champ, and they blew us out of the gym and we went home. But we're prepared to fight this time. We in fact had a students versus staff volleyball game today. I'm a little sore because I only have one gear and it's wide open when I compete. So I was hitting the floor, going full libero.
Welcome Max
we
to the
lost.
show.
We
Welcome
lost
Max to the show.
pretty handily in the first set, but we pulled it together and had a competitive second set. But anyway, yeah, welcome Max. Hardyville girls, I like them against Military Magnet. And then you look at Branchville and they're 13th in the RPI. So maybe we got a shot there on the road. And then it would come down to, Charleston Charter. I don't know what that is. Charleston, is that math and science?
I think it
what was
is.
formerly known as math and science.
Is it
I never heard of one
CMAS?
just called Charleston Charter.
Yeah,
I think it might be Charleston.
That's probably exactly
math and science.
Math and science. I believe
that's what we've always called it.
Yeah.
Or Hannah Pamplico. They're probably pretty good. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. We'll take it as it comes. But I think the girls are prepared to make a decent little run. So that'd be cool. What's happening, Maxie?
What's up, guys? How are y'all?
Welcome aboard, sir.
Doing well. Another busy Monday.
Yes, it is.
How was your weekend? What were you up to?
It was good. I spent my Saturday morning and early afternoon with our final weekend of fall sports. We're hitting our final week starting tonight, and then adult baseball has just started over here in Beaufort for the winter season. And then we have already started basketball evaluations this past Wednesday, and we'll be continuing this Wednesday. And, the winter basketball season gets started in late November.
Nice.
Yep.
So yeah,
Grind never stops.
Right on
Kids
to the
are out
next,
there playing
right on
sports
to the
all
next
the
season.
time. Love to see it. Love
Yep.
to see it.
By the way, I got to say, I forgot to say that I had a nice time with family who came all the way down from Boston area, and got to play some pickleball. So it's
Oh, nice.
nice. There you go.
It's a fun game.
it really
I haven't
is,
played the
and
pickleball in a good
I
while.
recommend it to
Very
anyone
fun
who's
game.
looking to just either get in shape or just continue to find a hobby to do, because I think it is obviously some people will say it's a fast growing sport, and it is, but it's great for those who are very athletic, but also for those who are really starting to like trying to gain entry into a sport.
Yeah,
Which
it's a sport that can be played at any level as long as you have a like partner, a partner of like ability,
But it's so
or
crazy
willing
how
to play down to
yeah,
your ability, one or the other.
it's so crazy how fast that sport exploded. Because now you
Yep.
got the professional pickleball league.
It is pretty
That is
crazy.
now being streamed on the tennis channel, which is crazy to think about. And just a short few years, it's grown into a national sport, which is crazy to think about.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
Yeah,
There have been a lot that
there's
have
there's
sort
an
of
indoor
risen to
court.
prominence, but have never quite made it to that extent.
Yeah, there's an indoor courts complex, I believe, on the island or in Bluffton, somewhere around there. But
yeah, there's one on the island, and there's one in Bluffton, I think.
Yeah, in Bluffton, right down the road from my house. Yeah,
it's exploding. All right. Well, you boys want to talk some football, or like haven't done any of that yet? We're 20 minutes in.
I think it's a pretty good idea. We should talk about football. I think that's a great idea, Justin. Go ahead,
Let's talk a little football. Wes, big game for your alma mater on Friday. I was on the call for WSAV. Marcus jumped on the call with Javon for Buford's Own, so he had it covered from all angles, and I got the highlights from WSAV here, if I can get the right thing pulled up here. Here you go, the Friday Night Blitz highlights, and started an inauspicious beginning for the Sharks as Mitchell couldn't get the handle, and Thad the Impaler.
Yeah, a couple of
Jagger.
mishandles and bad snaps, and just little mistakes. But in a big game like this with high magnitude, it is devastating for May River to make those.
Yeah,
I thought that was going to be a knockout blow, but Mason Swigert coming right back the other way with the kick return. And, he was averaging 49.5 per kick return. So he had broken one of his two previously. So this is not anything new for Swigert, but then mishandled the snap. And Hudson Tanner, our guest Thursday night, has to play quarterback. And honestly, decent arm. I think he could do it. But then this one was weird because you didn't see the ball come out right away, but Jimenez came out of there out of the pile with the ball. I'm not sure it was a fumble, but Raniszewski nonetheless puts it in the end zone a couple plays later, and then that one was a fumble. That one was a snap count issue, we were told. Supposed to go on 2, went on 1, and Tran didn't get it. Didn't get the handle, but then the Sharks held them to a field goal, so it was 17-6, and they put together a little bit of a drive. Justin Head had a nice night, and Hudson Tanner squeaks it through, just barely inside the upright from 40 yards, and that made it 17-9 at the half. But then the Impaler impaled, breaking tackles, making him miss, high stepping into the end zone.
Because I think I counted. I think I counted the first 3 or 4 plays of the third quarter went to him. Yeah. He was touting that rock, and obviously Hilton Head with the lead, they were able to melt the clock down a little bit, and then that big run. Should take a look at and doing it again. Got Robinson involved and Risher as well. Risher with that touchdown.
And then Tran with a late touchdown, but it was too late by that point for May River. So the Sharks come up short, 31-15, the final for Hilton Head. Seahawks are in the driver's seat, to say the least, in the region now, sitting at 3-0, and they've got Buford and Colleton left. Colleton this week, then Buford. I can't see Colleton really posing a threat. Buford, you can conceive of a way that Buford could give them trouble. But I really think this is just such a complete team. I don't think either one of those teams is really gonna give them a whole lot of a game. I think they're gonna just plow through it like they have and be really set up well going into the playoffs, because they're up to number 3 in the RPI. And I've got that pulled up here as well. There you go. South Point, South Florence, Hilton Head. So that, of course, means if South Florence stays ahead of them, then they will have to go on the road for the lower state championship if they make it that far. But the margins, as you can see here, very narrow.
It is like what?
To 6-7-8. And the
there it is. Yeah, 0.67. No jokes, please.
6-7.
Yeah. But yeah, so the RPI for Hilton Head, I mean, it is 1/100th below of South Florence right now.
Right. Now, I will say Hilton Head's is probably going to take a hit because their next 2 games have 4 winning percentages, although they might have decent opponent winning percentages. So there's a lot of calculations involved. We cannot even begin to speculate about what will happen with that RPI. But right now, it's very short, slim margins between second and third, and that is important because that will determine.
If they can find a way to jump over South Florence, then they would have home field throughout the lower state playoffs. So
you're so tough. Yes,
I'm real interested in May River, and in particularly this week. Obviously, I'll be on the call. I'll be on the call of their game against Bluffton in the Bluffton Bowl in 2 weeks, or a week and a half, as it were, because that game's on Thursday the 30th. But May River has a game against Buford that is really interesting because I think, and we talk about these teams and how they match up with one another. In years past, I had always said that I thought Hilton Head and May River matched up and were kind of not exactly the same, but very similar. I think in terms of this year, May River and Beaufort are very similar with the fact that they just run the football, and that's where their strong suit is. Certainly with the way they can play defense. I won't say they're identical, but they're pretty dang close. And I said it, throughout some portions of the game with Javon and in our little post game, and certainly on Loco on Friday. And I believe this. I think May River, especially if Andrew Johnson is not healthy the next 2 weeks, they need to find some, and I don't either, unfortunately. They need to find some different ways to go about their offense a little bit because you know what? It didn't quite work against Hilton Head, and with Bluffton, it's going to be tough too.
My thing would be this. I think it has been working. It's just that Hilton Head defense is just a monster to go up against. I think that was the big problem. I think they played well on offense. I just think Hilton Head's defense just played a lot better.
That's what I'm saying. And Bluffton's defense is right up there with them. So they have to find, in my opinion, a wrinkle or two to try to get some extra momentum.
I feel you, bro.
Points on the board.
I just don't know if it's there. I mean,
I
think anything they had, they would have pulled out against Hilton Head. I mean, I guess the only thing I thought we'd see a halfback pass or something, or a throwback or something like that. But
they only threw the ball twice.
We got to stop being surprised by this, though. That is who they are. That is their identity by design. That's not a bug. It's a feature. So
I think the thing for me is as Marcus mentioned,
you're breaking up on us, Max. We'll give you a little time to get a better signal. You back?
Sorry, I think I cut out for a second. My bad.
Yeah, you did.
I was saying, Marcus mentioned momentum. The question is, where do you find the momentum? It's going to be hard to find any momentum you can bring up with this team. I think they're as good as they can be.
You have to create it on Friday. I mean,
but it's going to be hard to find
it. That's what I'm saying.
It's going to be hard to find it, let alone create it. And that's my. I agree with Marcus
if you go out and play well. Look, here's the thing: they don't have to change who they are to beat.
No,
they don't. And they might not have to change who they are to beat Bluffton. They did it last year in the playoffs. They just have to play better. I mean, if they don't fumble 3 times in the first half, they gave Hilton Head 17 free points in the first half. So, Jack Tuff, you're about to get banned, bro. We acknowledged you when you came on, and now you're using profanity. So you're about to get banned. But chill out, bro. 6'7". I don't know what's going on, and we had to regulate the commenters. But no, I mean, anytime you lose a game, like you lost the game, that's all it is. They were 6-1, they lost the game. Let's not freak out. It still could have worked if they didn't cough it up 3 times in the first half. But they are not built to play from behind, so they fell behind, and that's it. They put themselves behind. If they don't fumble the ball, it's a completely different game. The game script changes completely, and they might be up a couple of touchdowns because Hilton Head came out sluggish on offense. First series, they didn't look good. They were able to really only get the offense going in the second half, and the only
once they established the lead, and that was a completely different situation because Hilton Head playing from behind, completely different game script versus playing from ahead. So I mean, it's those little plays at the beginning, especially the miscues, and those loom large in games like that. I'm saying that May River, they're a very good team. They're a very good team that just made a couple of inopportune mistakes, and
I think also we have to really, more than take anything away from May River, credit Hilton Head.
Yes,
for the
absolutely.
job their linebackers did of staying on assignment, filling those holes, and not falling. They got them on the counter a couple of times for decent little gashes, but they were so good at just not giving up the big plays, bottling them up, and making them, execute 3 good plays in a row to get a first down, and they couldn't do it more often than not. So I don't think the sky's falling for May River at all. I thought their defense really played well, and their offense would have been fine without the turnovers. They're just not built to play from behind. I expect them to bounce back in a big way against Buford.
Yeah, and I just think I said on Friday, after all the games on Friday, I said. I thought the biggest thing for me was that Hilton Head defense in the trenches just kind of dominated on the line.
Their front seven was really so, and they were down a starter on the defensive line. Benji Elliott was out, and so Hayden Crockett had to play both ways a little bit, and they had to rotate some of the guys in there. But they did a tremendous job, and so again, I don't think it didn't change my opinion of May River all that much at all. And I still think that offense is I mean, it is what it is, but it's what they're built to run, and that's what they're going to do. And y'all can clamor for the more passes all you want, but they're not good at it. I mean, it's not, and they know that they're not designed to do that. It only works when it is set up to not be able to fail. But he did a good job both times. It was covered both times, and he recognized that and just chucked it deep where nobody had a play on it, which is what he's taught to do.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah, that's what he's taught to do. It's
I'm not trying to say,
and it's 1950s football. Don't get it twisted. It's crazy.
I've clarified this on a couple of situations where it may come off like I'm saying the sky's falling. I'm not saying that.
Oh, but no. I was talking more about where Max was going with no momentum, and I was like, no, it's fine. Like they just got to get up and play the next game, and they'll be fine.
I got you, and I'm certainly saying this for our audience too. They could end up playing better and doing some things a little bit better against May River, which would give them that spark. Rather against Buford, which would give them that spark going into the Bluffton game. I was. And turnovers do hurt.
They do. Well, and if they cough up the ball 3 times in the first half against Buford in their own territory, they'll be in trouble too.
Right. Yep. That's true too.
Because that Buford's so much like them. If Buford gets ahead of you, they're in good shape. But if they're playing from behind, they're in trouble.
May River can.
In the same boat. First score might win.
Down Buford, but if they have trouble just moving the ball, it could be tough for the Sharks in an environment like that. So I obviously we'll get to those insight later in the week, but
Yeah,
that's an important game for the Sharks and really one they need to
Yep.
have. I mean, not like
they have to win it.
a real
It's a
must-win
must-win
game, but
game.
one that you need to get before. I mean, you can't look ahead to Bluffton. I mean, this is
Nope.
this is a
This
tough,
is a perfect trap
is.
game situation.
It is a perfect trap game situation because they have to win it for that Bluffton game to really matter.
to really matter because then you lose out on the chance to get second because you have to win this.
Well, I mean,
although I think it would create a three-way tie for second because Buford and Bishop England
but
two losses, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But
so,
the likelihood increases if you win it.
But then it becomes a whole mess because then you could end up in fourth. That's the worst part of it.
Right.
And the thing is, it's not even just must wins throughout for May River. It's the same thing for Bluffton. They got a matchup that
everybody got to win them all now. Hilton got to win them all. May River's got to win them all. Bluffton's got to win them all. You got to hold serve.
And Bluffton's got an interesting one on Friday, man. They got an interesting one at home.
And they had a little bit of a battle from Colleton on Friday.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game between them and Bishop England on Friday.
Yep.
Bishops are
sure.
They're right there. I mean, they had that get right game against Buford, and I think the offense is maybe starting to round into a bit of form again. So I'm excited to see that one coming up in a few days at the Den. But yeah, I mean,
some interesting stats from this one, as always, with these guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Wes.
You?
Aiden McCarthy, 28 of 36 for 404 and 6 touchdowns, 1 pick. Also had a rushing touchdown. Cordell Holly getting more involved again, 11 for 96 and a TD. Carnell had 8 for 107 and 3 touchdowns. Amari had 4 for 104 and a touchdown. Rashad Taylor and Victor Jimenez touchdown grabs as well. And then usual suspects on defense: Malcolm Gordon, Jacoby Saunders, Cooper Simpson, Chris Doyle, and Anthony Kruswicki with an interception. Not a usual suspect.
Great.
So there you go. Some big numbers.
That's some numbers.
Once again, we should probably check in on Aiden's totals because they're pretty crazy.
Yeah,
he's getting there. He's getting up there.
Passing yards and.
Yeah, he's now up to 2,756 passing yards through 8 games.
Wow.
An average of 344.5 per game with 25 touchdowns and 2 picks. That's a really good ratio. He has 53 rushes for 446 and 8 touchdowns. So he is having quite the year. Oh, and by the way, caught a touchdown pass as well.
Yes, he did.
He's having quite the year.
I should know. I was there.
I was there. Let's see. The Carnell Express, 49 for 773 and 10 TDs. Benjamin second on the team with 41 catches. Patterson with 40. But Patterson 699 and 8 TDs. Benjamin 547 and 4 TDs. That is
Roman has always been one of my favorites, and I think he's kind of an under the radar guy. He has had a tremendous year.
Yeah, and he got away from BA and came over to Bluffton. He's been phenomenal.
Dude.
So yeah, big game. Dude. Let's see, what else do I have here? Hampton County. How about them? How about them Hurricanes?
Yeah,
they're so
they kept cruising. Another big night for our boy Agent Zero. Y'all ready for this? Here we go. 16, 210, 3 TDs. So he's over 200 again. Another huge night for Jalen Singletary. Terrell Grant 5 for 101 rushing and 2 TDs. Desmond Mathis 6 for 78 and a touchdown and 2 catches, 55 yards and a TD. So usual suspects. What were you saying, Max?
How many points have they allowed to region play so far?
0, 149 to nothing in region
Yeah.
play.
My,
149 to
gracious.
nothing.
that is,
And they only have Whale
really
Branch
cool
left.
there for the Hurricanes.
So it's up to the Warriors to try to score on
Oh my
Hampton
God.
in
Yeah,
region play in Hampton County.
you know, I think it's. I don't
They
know,
got
but what
Jamon
Hampton County's
Powers.
defense been playing, I think it's not out of the question.
Well, you
But-
know they're gonna gun for it. I mean, half of getting a shutout is trying to get a shutout. You know, like, and they got a gun for it now because they got the
Cal
region.
Raleigh.
Yes, indeed.
See you later.
A big
Big
He has
dumper.
dumped. He has
Big
dumped.
dumper.
He just
Dumper
dumped
has
one
dumped.
into the right field seats.
So yeah, Big
3-1
Hampton,
Seattle.
149 to nothing in region play so far. Let's
crazy.
see here. Jalen's stats.
Agent
are-
Zero has been on a tear.
Yeah. Well, we
But,
already told you last week that he had 22 TDs. Now he has 25. He's up to 1399 rushing on 145 carries,
my
averaging
God.
9.6, 155 per game, 23 touchdowns. 23.
You know, I
rushes. He's
can't
also
wait.
got 2 other.
I cannot wait to see where Jalen ends up going for the college once he goes to the next level. I can't wait to see where he ends up, man.
Well, and where he ends up, not where he goes, but where he ends up.
Right.
Ends
I mean,
up.
it's not always from
true
this
story.
transfer portal era.
Where
It's
does
not
it
all.
end?
I mean,
You
yeah,
know, I
you want to
mean,
land in a good
right.
spot, but there's more. There's a lot more than
There's
just
upward mobility out there
yes,
right now.
yes.
Terrell Grant,
Correct.
by the way, has had a tremendous season at quarterback. We got to give him some love. Stepping in
Yes.
after Chris Terry graduated, 3-year starter, and Grant 34 of 61 for 658, 9 TDs, 3 picks. He's rushed for 493 and 5 TDs, and he plays
Mercy.
defense, which you just don't see a lot of quarterbacks who get after it and play defense, about every snap. But he's that dude. He's got 18 tackles over there. He's not playing every snap, but he's spelling guys pretty regularly. He's got a pick. He's got 5 pass breakups. So yeah, he's been tremendous this year. And Lil Dez, Big Dez, they're getting him involved more and more now. He's up to 7 TDs on the year and gives them a good, he and Sab both can really stretch the field. So I love them. I think they're built for a long run in the playoffs. But we shall
And they were
see.
close to it last year. A tough loss, close one on the road. I think they were
Yeah,
better.
that one was so weird. I was there,
Yep,
and
I remember
it
you
was
were.
such a weird game. They were in control, and then it just the snowball got going downhill, and there was a little bit of panic, and it just slipped away from them. And
Yeah.
I really think that team could have made a good run, but it just one bad night, and that can do you in. So other games, Ridgeland took it on the chin from Bamberg, which Bamberg's just so good.
They are.
Oh God,
So-
they are.
I saw that score though. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't saying
they're
that.
just
I
so good.
wasn't shocked at all by that score. I was
No,
not.
I wasn't really. They're just so good.
And I've seen
Same for
seen
Battery
film of-
Creek.
yeah.
Oceanside beat them 45-0. It was 42
Yeah.
at halftime. They just kicked the field goal in the second half. So called off the dogs a little bit. Tough loss for Whale Branch, 28-26 to Lake Marion. Didn't have film for any of those. And then Bishop England 24-14 over Beaufort. Didn't have film for those, but we got some film for some of the SCHSL games, including St. John's Hilton Head Prep, as seen on NFHS Network, thanks to Hilton Head Prep. And they even got a highlight package for you here that you can watch, which is pretty
Very
cool.
nice.
So big takedown in the backfield. And Wes, you had some clips too, but didn't get them. I didn't get those in time. So we're checking these out, which is plenty good.
Yes.
But how about them Dolphins? Davis Cargill, another really solid day. There goes.
What a man.
Yeah.
That's Cargill, right? Yeah. Harmer had some nice runs.
Really impressed with both those guys as the leaders,
Yeah.
top notch, in my opinion, top notch leaders of that
Oh yeah,
football
they're
team,
they're
especially
they're
on the
there.
offensive side. They were terrific against
They're
JP2,
today's Tommy
and
Stauffer,
and
the
they,
offense was
yeah,
very efficient in this game.
Stone McDonald.
They played, I know,
right.
once in the third quarter, but other than that, they were pretty efficient moving the ball downfield, and it was all predicated on that run game. And Davis Cargill was the man, but Wyatt Harmer has really grown more comfortable in the offense. I think he's starting to feel that really well, and he has a couple of big runs as well. So I mean, he's a factor on top of what Cargill's been able to do. But just an
Did a little
important game that
scrub.
Hilton Prep showed up for, and I thought played very well on both sides. The defense came up with some big stops on fourth downs and third downs in this game, and I thought they got better as the game went along. So I'm very impressed by just the way this team has improved under the helm of Doug McFadden. It's awesome to see this positive script for a team that had just a really rough start to the year.
It's
And
amazing what can happen when you get the reps, when you get the
Yep.
full time to play, when you get the better conditions,
Yep.
and size yourself up with everybody else. Because just piggybacking off your point, Wes, they didn't have that in the early part of the year,
Right.
and it hurt them.
I mean, the competition was tough, and the weather wasn't good. It just everything didn't
they
go right.
didn't get to
Now,
grow at the proper rate.
yeah,
Like their growth
Now
rate was
things are
stunted
starting to-
because they didn't get those full games in. But they're coming around now, and we think, as
They're
far as we
looking
can tell,
great.
they played Tuesday at Dillon Christian, which is another big region game.
Wow.
Yeah, tomorrow
They
night we
broke
got
the
some
line.
Tuesday night football.
Tuesday.
As
Night
far as we
football.
can tell, I think that's still what it says
Tuesday
on
night,
Max Preps.
afternoon delight.
Oh no, it's in an
Tuesday
evening
evening.
game. It's
Tuesday
at
evening
I think I saw
Dillon Christian.
6:30.
6:30 p.m.
Yeah, at Dillon
It's
Christian.
senior
the
night
road
for
game.
Dillon Christian. Tuesday night, senior night. It's wild.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do when the weather plays tricks? Let's see. Who else we got? I don't have
So
much
it's really-
else to
really-
film, honestly.
JP2 with a big
all
win.
I got left is JP2 a big win. I don't have film from that, but we do have Max's
Forward to
film
seeing them again.
from Waldeboro, where Carlton Prep finished off
Yeah.
the win over BA. BA scored a couple TDs. They scored first, right, to cut into it.
They cut
to
to
get
a
it to a
touchdown.
one-score game.
Yeah, they did score first. And Colin Prep answered right back.
Carlton Prep. I do have stats on this game for CPA, and they're good. For Cale Owens, he had another huge night. Not so much passing. He only threw 9 passes, completed 5 for 63 yards, but 21 carries, 201 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Tanner Wolf added 12 for 92 and a TD, which I believe we're going to see film of momentarily. Carlton Prep, 7 in a row. Yeah, Prep plays tomorrow. That's what we were saying. 6:30 tomorrow. We'll be looking for updates from somebody who's up at Dillon Christian. We'll have to do a Tuesday show so we can report on that if I can get somebody to keep us posted. Here we go. There's big Tanner.
Yeah.
Tanner Wolf. No relation to Alan Wolf as far as we know.
Yep.
The other Wolf man. There he goes. Again, he's tough. He's a big kid.
Tough as nails.
Yeah, he's not small dude.
Running back. No, he's a tall running back. But he's a load. He gets the pads down low and runs people over. Good stuff from Tanner Wolf. But yeah, BA gonna have a big one against Thomas Hayward in a couple of weeks.
And if Tony's healthy and he's able to play, I think that
we believe Tony's healthy. Tony was not out for injury purposes, for injury reasons. Tony was out because this game was not originally
a very similar story for BA. They come out the gates hot and they start to fizzle as it gets colder, and this seems like a very similar
year after year. It's unusual. But no, Tony O'Banner missing the PHA or the THA game against JP2 on Friday was because he had originally scheduled a recruiting visit for this weekend because they didn't have a game scheduled, and then they added this game with JP2. So they said we won't cancel the recruiting visit. I believe he was going to Southeast Missouri, but I'm not 100% on that. Somebody said I think he was going to Missouri, and I had been told previously that SEMO was high on his list. So I suspect that's where he went, but I'm not 100% on that.
Okay.
But yeah, Tony, I mean, they understand that Tony's trying to play college football, and when he came back to Thomas Hayward, they're going to support that. So you're not going to ask him to cancel a visit on a game that wasn't originally scheduled and doesn't ultimately impact anything. That was pretty cool, by the way. Was that the alma mater? I feel like we should go back and listen to that. They were singing
it was the alma mater. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, let's hear them sing the alma mater. I am correct. SEMO.
To our alma mater, our hearts are always near. Hail to thee, our alma mater, ever true will be. Hail to thee, college and prep, our own academy. Hail to thee, our alma mater, ever true will be. Hail to thee, college and prep, our own academy.
Well, there you go. The Warhawks with the celebratory.
It's all there's nothing like a happy alma mater after a win.
And for good reason.
Yeah, sad one is brutal.
Yeah.
For good reason too, though, because region champs. And I can't remember the last time I said Colton Prep was region champs, to be honest. I think it's been
right, because the really good year
they didn't win the region when they
beat them in the playoffs. So
that's right. Now I got it. Well, I bet Stricklander knows off the top of his head.
Oh, he definitely knows.
They've had a couple of really good years in the past, but this may be their best, at least at this point. Although, can they get back to the state championship game, which they got to in 22? So,
looks like they won one in 16. They won them back to back in 15 and 16 under Rob Gorel.
That's right.
Yeah,
they were runner-up both those seasons as well in 1A. So that would be their last one though. 16.
Yeah,
I mean that's 9 years ago. Been a minute.
It's been almost 10 years. It's funny. I keep telling I keep saying this Colton Prep team is really impressive, and that was the third time I've seen them this season, and they have continued to improve as a team. And it's funny because they played a good half, and it's a coaching staff that wants to keep improving when they say that was probably one of the worst halves we've played all season. And I just started laughing by it and just thinking, man, if they can play their best half, what are they going to look like when they play their best kind of game? I'm just really excited about how this Colton Prep team has continued to improve. And I really do. I look forward to seeing them in the playoffs because I think they're going to face some tough opponents in the 1A level. But I really do think they have a very solid chance.
They have a good one coming up, don't they?
They have a tough one this week with Dorchester.
Yeah, that's on the other side of the other
Dorchester's
region,
undefeated. And they've been rolling people pretty good. They beat
that's a state championship.
I mean, they may have to see him again. The state championship game. That could very well be the matchup in Charleston.
I mean,
if Dorchester. How about this for Dorchester? They got to play Colton Prep this week, and then they got to play Williamsburg next week.
Oh,
right.
God.
So that will be for the region
essentially their region championship.
That's the big one. On the
Williamsburg just dropped their first game. They lost 28-26 to Bethesda.
Yeah. So
wow, that's the closest game Bethesda. So wait, to who?
Williamsburg lost 28-26 to Bethesda. Williamsburg
Wow.
is tough.
That's got to be the
Tough.
closest game Bethesda has played this season.
By
It's got to be.
far. And by far their
Yeah.
lowest scoring total.
Yeah. Wow.
So Williamsburg's
okay.
got the goods too. Both them and Dorchester are very good.
They are very good. And, it's funny, just, apart from that JP2 game, I mean, these are the three teams we need to keep an eye on in the 1A when playoffs come around, because any one of these three teams could make the state championship game. So it's going to be really fun to watch.
In 1A right now.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, boys. So that's about all I got on a Monday night. So we'll shout out some sponsors and get out of here and watch the sports on the TV. We got Hudson Seafood House on the docks, of course, our Lowco Booster Club member and presenting sponsor of Under the Bus, which Rich Basirico has returned from Italy. He will resume his spot on Under the Bus.
We got the three musketeers, three amigos, you were going to call them. They're all back.
So Rich
I can't wait to hear the stories.
Yeah.
Well, he reported in this morning. I'll give you a little teaser, all right? Back in town, my wife and I had a great time, except my phone was stolen on my third day in Sicily. Those Italians, you can't trust.
Boy.
Uh-oh.
That's a good teaser. There'll be a lot of fun stories.
Hey, don't say that, man. I'm Italian.
No, that's what he said. He's Italian too. So that was his whole point. Yeah, got his phone swiped on day 3. Coach Basirico, but had a great time, and he's ready to get back with the boys. I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about the Giants blowing that 19-0.
Oh no!
Wow!
Oh no!
How about it? Good night.
What a disaster!
The memes.
My whole family was so mad at them because obviously
the memes are out and running on those too. I've been seeing that on all over social media today. That's just, look,
funny? As soon as they challenged the touchdown on Dart, I was like, no, you don't want the touchdown. You want to run more clock and then push it in. Dummies.
Yeah.
These coaches just lose their mind at the end of the game, and that's what Basirico is going to be like. Arr! But anyway, Hudson Seafood House on the docks makes it possible for you to hear Rich Basirico, Curry Kirkpatrick, and Bob Stevens ranting about, and occasionally me ranting about sports and throwing people under the bus every Tuesday on the Lowco Media Network.
Try the slaw.
Try
the 7-day slaw.
And
I'm not a huge slaw fan, but wow.
Andrew style on your po' boys.
Yeah.
That's at Hudson Seafood House on the docks. A great place for seafood sunsets and cocktails on Hilton Head Island. Twinge and Twombly is a great place to go if you need a personal injury attorney. They have a rare name. You'll never forget it. Twinge and Twombly. And they provide remarkable service. So the next time you need a personal injury attorney in Beaufort, call on Twinge and Twombly. And HHI Windows and Doors will help you improve your view of the Lowco. Our old friend Coach Barron hung up his whistle. He's concerned with a new kind of screens now over at HHI Windows and Doors, improving your view of the Lowco. Reverence Wrestling Club's our official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind, coming at you starting in November when the wrestling heats up. And Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Parting thoughts, gentlemen?
We talk about the NFL, and there were a couple of interesting games for sure throughout the day. The Cleveland Browns ended up getting a huge win against the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. They were called that, right?
I had my eyes glued, partially because I had 2 of the dominant players in this game on both of my fantasy teams. I had my eyes glued on that Minnesota-Philadelphia game.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop watching. It was absolutely phenomenal, in my opinion. Some of the best football in terms of just solid team football that I've seen this year. The Eagles
really struggling early.
I know. The Eagles look like, if they could play like that, they are definitely a contender in the NFC. They really impressed me. And then, I'm sorry, I know they're not very good. But my gosh, how about the Las Vegas Raiders?
Oh,
they just got smoked by your Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Well,
That was
I mean,
that was rough on the other
obviously,
spectrum.
Rashi Rice back in the lineup. You knew he would make an impact, and
I mean, they benched Geno Smith in the what was it, the
They
third
did.
quarter or so?
There were a bunch of quarterbacks getting benched yesterday.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and Bryce Young got hurt.
Yeah.
So another
Yeah, we saw like eight or nine backup quarterbacks yesterday. It was a
Yep.
crazy number.
Yeah.
Either because it was a blowout, or because somebody was hurt, or because somebody was underperforming.
Yeah, wild
A
week.
bunch.
But I'll
Jaden
tell you,
Daniels.
I'll tell you who's
out.
looking good right now. Indiana Jones. And
Heck yeah, he is.
Is he ever?
Good.
He looks phenomenal. That team is brilliant. Like, they're so good. I don't know who calls their plays. I should look that up because I love their play calling. It's phenomenal. They're doing crazy good things with Jonathan Taylor, getting him out, putting him out at a wing and then running jet with him, like all kinds of different things. Tyler Warren, I knew when I saw him
He's
play
been
at
a
Penn
stud.
State, I was
He
like,
is
that
good.
dude is going to be an animal in the NFL, and he is every bit what you hoped he would
Yeah.
be. They're very good. If they had a true number one receiver, they would be unstoppable.
They'd be
They
dangerous.
really don't have that guy. They have Pittman, and they have Pierce, and they have
Yeah, I mean,
Downs, and they have Mitchell.
oh wow,
but
yeah, I even
none of
realized
them's really like
Mo
a
Cox,
one.
your basketball player, is still on the team.
Oh, really? But
Yeah.
they look to be very much legit. The Bucks did not look very good tonight, and Mike Evans got hurt again.
Bummer.
So he went down
Oof.
hard.
Well,
on
Amika Gupa. I can't say his name.
Ibuka is
well?
playing tonight.
Ibuka.
He's having a game.
Is he healthy?
Yeah,
Ibuka?
he's back tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, he played.
It
Because he's
looks
been their
like
guy. Yep.
that Mike Evans injury looks like either because he felt weird. He fell down on his knee
They
really
said
weird.
he had both. They said it was both a shoulder injury and a possible concussion.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you could see the concussion
Ouch.
part.
Yeah, because
could
when you
see that
see it, you'll
concussion.
see him make the catch, hit the ground, roll over, kind of still has the ball, but then like loses control, like faculty of his hands. He can't hold on to the ball anymore, and it just
I
falls
thought for
out.
a second, it was his knee because he fell really hard on his knee as well before he even hit his shoulder and then his head. You could definitely see the concussion side. Yeah, it didn't look
laid
great.
out for a ball and yeah, didn't came up with it, but didn't.
Could I make a statement and say I think Mike Evans is one of the best players to ever play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Oh, I agree.
I would definitely agree with that.
I can't argue with that one.
Easily.
Yeah.
Warwick Dunn ranks ahead of him, but there aren't many more.
Right. There aren't many more after him.
Yeah, I was going to say those
speaking
two guys.
Speaking of legendary Tampa Bay Buccaneers, some horrible news. Doug Martin passed away.
That was one of my parting thoughts, actually. Yeah.
Back like a decade ago. I always hated when he was on the field against Carolina because he was an issue. He was
a problem.
Yeah, it's a sad story too. Details still coming out, but it sounds like he was having some kind of a mental health emergency, and authorities were called, and they tried to detain him, and he resisted, and then there are not a lot of details given, and then he was non-responsive, and I suspect there were some tasers possibly involved or something. Something was involved in that restraint process that may have been a factor. So, I think there's going to be more coming about that.
I hope so.
Which, when I read it, I just immediately went to the story of Trey Pringle, Nick Pringle's brother, who, similar situation, having a mental health episode, and called for authorities, and police and EMTs arrived, and they tried to restrain him, and he couldn't be restrained, and they used a taser multiple times, and he passed away. So you hope that's not the case, but certainly you hope they take a look at that and make sure that there wasn't something happening there. But yeah, rest in peace to Doug Martin. And if you're going through mental health stuff, please talk to someone. It's okay. We're all going through it, man. Everybody's going through stuff. Just talk it out, and get through it together. So,
Absolutely.
Max, did you have other parting thoughts?
I did. Oh God. Well, first of all, obviously the NHL season has started, and the Carolina Hurricanes, which I guess would be considered the local NHL team for us. I don't know if it would be them or
they're Wes's team. So
yeah,
I've always been a Hurricanes fan because I had family who were lived close to Hartford before the Hurricanes were the Whalers.
The Whale.
Before the Hartford Whalers. In '97, they became.
I grew up a Atlanta fan when the Thrashers were in Atlanta before they moved to Winnipeg. But I switched and became a Carolina Hurricanes fan just because there was no other NHL team in our area to support other than them. And I've slowly and surely become a huge Carolina Hurricanes fan. And lo and behold, they're undefeated and playing again tonight against Vegas, the Las Vegas Golden Knights. So hats off to them. And then the other thing is, believe it or not, tomorrow the NBA season starts, and it starts on, for the first time in, I believe, 40 years, it will be on NBC, ladies and gentlemen. It will be with, I believe, the Lakers.
Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it.
One of those games that's going to be intriguing. Two teams that are going to be trying to make a push for the playoffs when it comes around. The Lakers will be at home for opening night against the Golden State Warriors, which has become a rivalry over time between the two teams, especially when LeBron came to town. And then the other one, the Houston Rockets, will go on the road with Kevin Durant as a Rocket to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and will be interesting, very interesting games there.
Just to clarify, Max, I think the last year of the NBA on NBC was 2000.
Was it? Okay.
I believe it was 2000. I heard you say 40 years, and I'm like, there's no way that's correct.
I wasn't sure if
it was 2000.
Not true. Throughout the 90s,
I wasn't sure. I thought it was 40 years, but I could have been wrong.
Marcus and I grew up watching.
It was before you were born.
I know it was.
Yeah, no, I'm just. It always reminds me of when I hear Marv Albert, when I hear the NBA and NBC. I mean, I think of Jordan and the Chicago Bulls because they were there every year in the finals and stuff.
And plus, later this week, for the first time, Inside the NBA will be premiering on ESPN, which is quite the change.
That's going to be weird.
It's going to be very weird. But the plus side of it is we're going to see Inside the NBA for the NBA Finals as well, because of course ESPN hosts the NBA Finals. So for the first time ever, Inside the NBA will be there for the NBA Finals.
Very cool. Yeah,
very cool.
It is. We're getting close to this is the time where all four major sports leagues are in action at the same time. So it's always exciting.
Very interesting.
Fun time of year.
Very exciting.
But yeah, hey, I have a fun one.
Both of us could ever imagine. It's me on keys. And
I was gonna play basketball.
Oh yes, the old brown ball.
And Dave singing. Can you believe this is our job? Basketball, give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Basketball, give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it.
Classic.
Legendary.
Awesome.
Go ahead, Wes.
But speaking of some exciting highlights on basketball court, but it was on the basketball court. But what I am about to pull up here is some volleyball highlights. Yes, from Hardyville High School in Hardyville, South Carolina. It was Staff versus
Jeff Riley
volleyball game featuring our very own
versus Staff volleyball showdown. I'm out there laying my life on the line. Good time. We took the elbow. We did take the elbow.
I love this.
Back in my hip hurt.
They're exciting.
I did not embarrass myself.
No, and that's good.
There was, in fact, one of my students said after the game, "Coach, you were carrying them out there." So that made me feel good. And I definitely hit the floor more than anybody else in the game, trying to get the ball. I can't turn that instinct off. Like since I was a little kid, I was the guy trying to make the diving play every chance I got, and you know, I don't. It's one of the reasons why it drives me nuts when you can't get a kid to play as hard as they can, because
Right.
I don't, like to full speed, man, full speed. It's supposed to be automatic. When you're in a competition, you got to go as hard as you can go all the time.
What's your remedy, JJ? For
What's that?
What's your remedy for like floor burns and?
Oh, I didn't
whatever.
get any floor burns or anything.
Okay,
I
well,
had on pants. I probably wouldn't have done it if I didn't have on pants. But no, that's funny. Jeff Riley told me he was sending you some video from that. So
Yeah,
very cool.
I was able to download that and show it here on the show. So that's awesome.
Good stuff.
Really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, part of our homecoming week, of course.
I played a bit of recreational volleyball back in the day, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a good
I would not
sport,
call myself a good volleyball player.
I
wouldn't
either. Don't worry.
I mean, I've had some good and bad moments, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's an enjoyable
It is a lot
sport.
of fun.
But there's a lot of you got to communicate well. There's a lot that goes into it because you got to have a good it starts with a good dig, then you got to set it up, and everyone has to be on the same page, because if you have a bad dig,
you gotta
then
communicate.
It's impossible to do a good set, and so if if it's a bad set, you can't really get a good attack to the other side.
The communication is so important, and when you play it, you really realize how important it is, because everybody's locked in and focused on the ball, and you got to talk to each other. You got to let each other know where you are. You got to be aggressive and call somebody off when you've got the ball, and definitely it takes time, and that's why a team like May River is always playing so much better at the end of the year than at the start, because their communication improves and improves and improves, and their chemistry improves throughout, and you start to know where everybody's going to be and what they can cover and what you need to get, and understand all that and work together as a team. So no, it was fun. It's always fun when we get to play, to play at school, get out of school early and get to go play with the kids. That's my favorite. That's when the little kid in me really comes out. I'm like, wait, we get to play a game in front of everybody today? Yes, I'm in.
Sign me up.
Yeah, that was fun. My parting thought, we just showed you Round Ball Rock, the sketch from SNL, the part of John Tesh's brother being played by Tim Robinson, who is not for everybody. But if you thought that was funny, and if you've ever seen the show, I think you should leave. And you didn't think it was the stupidest thing you've ever seen, there's a new show on HBO Max called The Chair Company that I have to recommend for you. You should watch the first episode. If you're like, that was stupid, I don't know why I watched that, then don't watch anymore, and don't blame me, okay? You can quit after 5 minutes if you think. In fact, if you think the first scene was the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen and you don't understand why you watched it, then just stop watching. But if you crack up, if you laugh out loud at least once during the first scene, you need to keep watching it. All right? We're only 2 episodes in. Join me Sunday nights on HBO Max for The Chair Company. My depraved sense of humor. Kevin Libby, also a big Tim Robinson fan. So if you can't stand Kevin Libby, you probably shouldn't watch.
If you can't stand Kevin Libby, I'm sorry, you have a problem. We love you,
okay,
Kev.
If you never laugh at Kevin Libby, don't watch any Tim Robinson content.
Well, that's the best part.
Save us both the trouble.
I just feel like when someone meets Kevin Libby for the first time and has no idea who he is, and you just have a conversation with them, it's either going to go either really good or really bad for you, because you're going to be like, who is this guy? Or this guy is hilarious.
Yeah, you're either going to vibe or you're not. With their movies, much like the most of us, quite frankly.
Yeah.
That's why we're attracted to our own kind. All right, boys. Good times tonight. Enjoyed it. Fun talking sports with you guys as always. Thanks to all of our sponsors for making it possible. And thanks to all of you who show up to listen or watch. Thanks again to WSAV for the opportunity to call the game and as well for the footage for the highlights. And all right, boys, we'll be back. We'll try to do it tomorrow night if we can get somebody on the ground from the Hilton Head prep game. We'll want to have some details, and maybe we can get
it's a 6:30
after
start.
a win. Perhaps we could get a bus ride home interview or on the field after the game, look in or something. We'll see.
It'll be
We'll
nice.
see what we can arrange.
Some Hilton Head prep representative to make the trip to Dillon Christian, and
well, there's some parents making that trip, so maybe even some students. So surely we can find somebody hitting the road up there. But anyway, that'll be tomorrow night if we can arrange it on the LowcoSports
probably will
Lowdown.
be following Under the Bus.
Yeah, that would be after Under the Bus if we were able to do it. We'll see how I feel. It's probably going to be a long day. Who we got here? Oh. Who did that? Did you do that, Wes? Max?
What?
No, I have no idea what that was.
Somebody posted this somehow.
So weird. That was weird.
Maybe it does it on purpose. I don't know. Or automatically. But anyway, boys, been real tonight. We'll see you next time on the LowcoSports Lowdown. For Marcus Walsh, Max Raj, and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, go Loco.